Hello, friends. What is going on with you? And welcome to another episode of the YarCrypto Late Night Live Show. My name is Groovy, and tonight I have with me here today Sterling. Hello, Sterling.
Hey, how are you? What's up, people? How we doing?
And also we have Legal Talent here. Hello, Legal.
How you guys doing? Welcome, welcome.
So today we have a bunch of things to talk about, as usual. Um, the first things that we can probably address here is Bitcoin and a little bit of the technical side of things, and then we can move on to some news and a little bit of on chain as well. But if we take a look here, guys, this is the chart for BTC today, and this is the daily. So let's start on the daily here. And as you guys can see, we have this pattern that we have been following for a while now. This falling wedge here on the daily time frame. And we just closed the daily 4 minutes ago. Now we're seeing some volatility here on this current candle, but as you guys can see, we did kind of make a fake out to the downside here on this bottom trend line on this daily candle, and right now we are still trading kind of inside the pattern here. And if we make a retracement here on this daily time frame from the usual points that I've been making, which is from the swing low on the 26th of June to the swing high on 29th of June, we see that we are right now holding the 786 fib level of this retracement, which is this line here on the 31,500. So that's a little bit better for us right now because we are holding support and we are also holding the trend line that I talked about with you guys. And if I zoom in here on the 4 hour, we can see a little more clearly here what's going on. And you guys see, let me just clear this trend lines here. You guys see that the previous kind of 8 hours ago, we had this 4 hour candle here just fake out to the downside and kind of scare a lot of people off. But we did kind of absorb the supply here, and we closed back inside the pattern, and now we are trading in this range again. So what are the possibilities here that we have, guys? I would say that if we hold the 786 as support for now, we could see a move to the upside, potentially testing the 618 here. And the 618 for me is right now at the 32,600 level. So yeah, watch out for that. But if we're gonna talk about the whole pattern here, guys, falling wedges usually have a very bullish bias. If we take a look here at the patternside.com from Bukowski, he talks about falling wedges, and usually he says here that the breakout can be in any direction, but it's upwards 68% of the time. Okay, so it's a very nice percentage. Usually we see it as well on the charts, these kinds of patterns. So I do believe this is bullish, guys, for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that are involved in this for sure. You wanted to say something, Ligo, there?
Yeah, so if I can bring up my chart here, for one of the things that we did notice quite some time ago, we've been tracking all day is uh bullish divergences forming on the 4 hour time frame here for Bitcoin. So if I could just highlight for you all, we have a lower high on the price action here. And then what we were noticing was that we had the RSI maintaining a higher high. So if I can make this larger for you guys and zoom in a little bit for you. So right here, this was telling us that the strength of the asset is increasing as the price is decreasing, creating a divergence in the price. And in this case, we had a reaction. So, we had a little market update earlier indicating that this was a possibility. And one of the first rejection points was going to be the 382 fib level from the more local retracement. If we go from the swing high over here to the swing low, then we are seeing a rejection point there. But what we do want to see is, as Groovy said, for us to hold the larger 786 fib level, as well as this longer trend line here in yellow that you see across my screen. So this is something that we want to look out for. At the moment, the bullish divergence did play out in this 4-hour candle, and there is a chance for more potential upside, but we do have to be careful because we are trading at resistance at the moment. So yeah, that's something to look out for.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys. So if we wanna look at some EMAs here, I wanna kind of bring up a lot of other topics here that I've been thinking about on BTC because. But first, let's look at some EMAs here. Obviously, we have the daily 21 on the top here that we have been fighting and fighting and fighting for the last couple weeks and just could not get above it. The bears are winning in this area of the charts here. And also we have the 200, if I'm not mistaken, on the 4-hour here, which is all the way on the top here as well. So that's something that we can watch as well. But one thing that I was wondering is because, like, what is causing this sell off on BTC? Because
Mm-hmm.
as we were kind of watching in the last couple weeks, the on-chain data and the on-chain stuff is basically bullish. You guys saw what we have been discussing in the last few weeks as well. Um, the data from Willy Woo and people like that,
Number of
Glassnode.
wallets increasing, that have greater
Yeah,
than 100,000 and 1,000 Bitcoins. So all of this is bullish news.
yeah. There has been a lot of bullish news for BTC adoption here and there, and a lot of different stuff. But somehow the price keeps getting pushed down, and I do believe that this is a kind of coordinated effort to push the price down. Uh, because this is going against all of the on chain that we are seeing right now. And even the charts here, if you look at the daily, because the RSI has been, the whole bullish divergence that we saw happening ever since the beginning of the accumulation period. So yeah, I would say like this is gonna come to fruition at some point, right? This on-chain analysis and all the data that we have been seeing. Um, so I do believe we are not gonna be trading a lot lower in the future. Obviously, we have to see because it's not guaranteed, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff happening, guys.
Yeah. And again, there is a huge correlation, I would say, if not coincidental, with some of the news that we're going to cover later in terms of the grayscale and the unlockings. And
Yeah,
so, that's happening soon as well. But, we have to also keep in mind that they aren't selling actual Bitcoins, they're selling shares. But how much of that is going to be directly correlated to the price going down now? So, it'd be interesting to actually find out after the fact, because usually hindsight is 2020 in these cases.
yeah. Yeah, guys, but moving on here, we can take a look at Ethereum as well to
Yeah.
see how it's doing. And I'm gonna clear this chart up for you guys here. So right now, the first thing that I see when I look at this chart here is that it's already a little better than BTC because it hasn't suffered a lot from this little move here that BTC did a couple hours ago. And also, we have this kind of W here forming on Ethereum. So we have this leg down, this retracement to the upside here, this bounce, and then a lower high, lower low, higher low here. Um, so I would say this is kind of a um, W pattern. Obviously, we have to wait and see if it's gonna go to the upside here, test the neckline. Um, but this is also looking a little nicer than yesterday, for sure, for Ethereum. Um, and the level of support here is very confluent with what Legal said in the last live show. This kind of middle area here between the 2000s and the 1700s, uh, which is also confluent with other past moves, historical moves like this range here.
Yeah.
So we're finding support here. And if I make a retracement here, kind of a big one from all the way back, there's two retracements that we can make here actually. There's this one which covers the whole move and we bounced off the 786 similarly to BTC. And there's also the current one which can be drawn for like this period here, and now we are facing resistance at the 23.6. So yeah, we're kind of in a range here of between support and resistance, and we do we are gonna need a little volume to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And yeah, if I take a look here, there's another thing that's very interesting for us to watch on this market, and it is the total market cap for the crypto markets, excluding BTC, which is this chart right here. And
Hmm.
as you guys can see, I have this blue line here, which is the 200 moving average, the simple one, and we kind of lost it on this daily candle.
Yeah.
So you guys can see we closed below it, and now it's kind of resistance for the the move here. Um, so this is a little interesting for us to watch because we have been taking a hit ever since May on this total value here. We lost a lot of money in the market, a lot of money,
Yeah.
and it seems like we're getting even lower here. So what do you guys think?
Well, I think
Yeah,
it's going to be real interesting. Go ahead, Sterling. You go ahead first.
well, no, I mean, like I was watching this chart yesterday, and I saw that the 4 hour candle that we were looking at kept on going above it and below it, but we managed to be above it before at least I went to bed last night. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I was really worried with going into shorts on alts. I
Uh huh.
actually,
Yeah.
uh, when I saw that we were above it, and I saw that Ethereum was bouncing off of, I believe it was the 786,
Yeah.
and it was headed to, it was basically losing the 618 as as support. So that's when I went into a long from when Ethereum was like 1895 up until 1910, and then I closed it because I was also looking back at the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin chart and seeing its relationship with that 200 EMA, and
Yeah.
it was worrying. So
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the total market cap, excluding BTC, is gonna react because it basically talks about the whole market except BTC, right? But um, yeah, so far we
Yeah.
have been very bearish for the whole market in general. Um,
And this is something
and
that's pretty much the point I was going to make. It's going to be real interesting. How much of, okay, so you have the indications and we have our moving averages, but this is a cumulative number. We're talking about all of the crypto market added, excluding BTC, obviously, but how much of that is going to be affecting the price? And, I do realize that we have the moving averages, and the 200 and the 100 especially are really strong ones that are used in trading. But, how much of this is going to be true resistance? And, will this be part of the signals that tell us, hey, we are in a kind of bearish market and it's going to be a little while before we start recovering?
exactly, yeah. Obviously, we have to take this moving average with a grain of
Right.
salt, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's just a moving average after all. Uh, but it talks a little bit of how the market is doing in general.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just gotta wait and see how BTC is gonna react because it moves a lot of the market with him.
Yep.
But yeah, so if you look at the DXY here as well, guys, um, we have been following this DXY for a while now as well because it has a kind of inverse correlation with this hedges against inflation, as they say,
Yeah.
kind of like gold or BTC, silver. Uh, and what have been noticing here on this chart is that we may be forming a kind of rounded top here
Mm.
in this pattern. If this is a rounded top, then we are basically in the middle of it right now. Because if you take a closer look here in this daily time frame, it's very interesting because it kind of perfectly rounds itself the price action here. Um, so if we kind of look at how BTC did it, BTC did a rounded bottom here, and if you look, it's similar, just the inverse on this
And if we
chart
go
here.
ahead and flip the chart, if we control Alt I it, we
Yeah.
can kind of give them a visual.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is kind of like the situation we were thinking.
Yeah. So it's a lot similar to what the DXY is doing, because if we draw from here, it's kind of a rounded pattern,
Mm-hmm.
and the DXY is doing something similar here. So if this is true, then we may see some downside for the DXY in the next couple days or weeks. Uh, so that's gonna be interesting because it has an inverse correlation with the crypto market, and I do believe that if the DXY starts dumping like it has on the past, um, there's you know no reason why the crypto wouldn't at least move a little bit against it.
Yeah.
Um, and I see no reason why the DXY would just explode to the upside right now. But yeah, that's basically the situation with the DXY right now. Um,
I mean,
but
what would you say about that double bottom that I also see right there on the? It looks like a wider, possibly a wider double bottom structure. It was
uh,
tested. It got rejected from that resistance and formed a second low.
you mean on the DXY here?
Yeah,
Uh, hmm,
but like,
I've
what's the RSI's relationship with that? Did we see anything different in the second low, or we take a look
oh
at that?
yeah. If we look at the RSI here, actually, if you take a look here, so I've just spotted this as well on the DXY because we have been making higher highs here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uptrend, but the RSI here, if you
Uh,
look, it has been a lot bearish, very bearish.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this contributes to the rounded top theory as well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
and you know what? When the first time it met that resistance, that red line you got right there, on the way up to that, I believe there was a bearish divergence that ended up playing out, right?
oh yeah, yeah, it was this one. We could say it's a bearish divergence, yes, because the RSI was kind of at the same line here, and the price
Mm-hmm.
was higher.
Yeah.
But yeah, so assuming we're gonna make similar things here, we may see a very nice, downside for the DXY in the next
Yeah.
couple weeks. So yeah, let's
So
keep
maybe we
watching
get
that.
into a little bit of the news aspect of it because I want to talk about grayscale a little bit and see, because that's definitely something big coming out in the next few days here. The unlocking of the final, portion of the shares. So, what do you guys think about that, and how do you think it's going to affect it, everything?
Yeah, so I would say a big reason why there's so much fear this month on the uh, market and especially on BTC is indeed because of the grayscale unlockings. And I have the chart here open. This is the Bybit chart for the grayscale Bitcoin Trust unlock. And this month is a big month for the unlockings. And we are gonna see on July 18th, which is Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, um, the biggest one for this month. So people are basically looking for that day. Um, but is it gonna be another situation where we see the exact opposite happening? Kind of what happens with big news, right?
Yeah,
So, and I can give the example of the Coinbase listing for Cardano, because everybody was expecting one thing and the price did exactly the opposite. Obviously, it had some manipulation involved and stuff like that.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, is it gonna be that situation where you know market makers think uh, basically the inverted of what the market is thinking, and
yeah.
they just do the opposite. So
'Cause the way I think of it too is like, how the old adage is like, testing that resistance line, twice, three times. And usually the other thing is, two times is a pattern, right? So that's how we form our trend lines with two touches or more. But
mhm,
there's this kind of weird correlation to that and information in terms of, let's say, you know, the selling off of the miners on the Bitcoin and stuff like that. So once we know, because it happens twice now, hey, they always sell around February. It always dips every year. February, the miners sell their coin, and then comes the third time when obviously the market is ready for it, and so now they have the kind of upper hand where they can not sell at that time, and then now we're kind of left holding the bags. And so,
yeah,
there's that interesting aspect of, is it going to happen again because of the past, or are the market makers going to choose to do something else?
yeah. So yeah, this question is very important because um, people are expecting that the price is going to go down because of this unlocking.
Mm,
And usually when the whole market is expecting something, uh, for speaking from experience, right? We see
yeah.
that the opposite happens, and yeah, it's gonna. Well, we're gonna have to wait and see, man, because but I believe it's not gonna have so much effect to the downside in this case.
I
So
think it's going to
yeah,
be different this time also because of the fact that, we're not trading at a premium as they normally were in the past, where there was a lot more, you know, potential there. But, there is the arbitrage aspect of it that they make money on. And so that's something that I don't think is going to be as effective this time because of the price being so close to the entry, I believe.
Yeah.
yes. But yeah, guys, we just gotta have to wait and see.
On that
But
on that
moving,
same note, on that
yeah,
same note, real quick, it's funny because yeah, like the market does do the opposite of what like everybody thinks it's gonna do sometimes because um maybe we could take a look at BNB. I don't know if you guys have any BNB charts, but when me and Pete were looking at BNB yesterday, we were considering all the FUD that's been going on in regards to Binance. Yeah, BNB pumped at one point yesterday, last night, and there were some serious gains to be made on the BNB pairs for a second, but I
yeah,
think it did
Yeah, it
end
looks
up
like it
going
went
down
to
after.
about 324, it looks like at one point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, the BNB chart here, as though we are kind of trading sideways here on the daily. it's actually interesting because it's a very different chart than BTC.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's holding on. But you know, Binance is surely having trouble in Europe, especially in the UK,
Yeah.
and now in Italy as well. Uh, I'm gonna actually take the opportunity here to show you guys because Binance has been, now with Italy, they
Hmm.
said that the Italian finance regulator issues warning on Binance crypto exchange, and they warned that Binance is not authorized to facilitate crypto investment services in the country.
Wow.
So, well, they're having a lot of trouble in Europe right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's another one, I believe another short article here from Clear Junction, that talks about them stopping everything. So it says here the Clear Junction can confirm that it will no longer be facilitating payments related to Binance. And it says that the decision has been made following the Financial Conduct Authority's recent announcement that Binance is not permitted to undertake any regulatory activity in the UK. So, this is going to be interesting to see how all of these kind of regulatory blocks and people kind of stopping payments to Binance will affect the price of the BNB coin.
yeah, it seems like so far it hasn't affected it that much
Yeah,
because we have been trading sideways. And if I look at the EMAs here, we have been holding the 200 moving average EMA on the daily time
yeah,
frame. And if you look at the 4 hour as well, uh, if I change, just clear this here. Yeah, on the 4 hour we have the 200 as resistance because I think of the whole sideways movement as well. But this is not that bad for Binance, at least
yeah,
on the charts. Uh, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how will Binance react to this whole thing because I don't see many statements from them regarding
no,
the
Well,
issues, right?
you saw CZ, you saw Changpeng Zhao tweeted an image of him wearing a suit, and then he was basically saying, "Do I look regulated enough yet?" And he
Oh
was
yeah,
wearing a suit, and then he replied to that, and then he was like, "I just realized I only have sneakers. I don't have any dress shoes. I'm just gonna go with the sneakers."
yeah. I'll see
So
if I
that's
can
his
find
reply.
that.
That
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know if they're doing something behind the scenes to mitigate some of this, but um, yeah, Binance, it's having a little trouble, but
yeah,
once, and I was talking to Jay as well, to Yarwood, a couple hours ago, because crypto as a space and as a financial space growing as the way it's growing, they probably gonna regret that decision at some point. So at some point
yeah,
in time, right?
yeah.
So
I do think that there was a little bit of a heads up given to Binance. I don't have any, there's no verification on this, but we saw the Binance one of the Binance chairmans uh or a Binance chairman resigned from his position about 2 weeks before UK decided to issue that ban on regulated operating of Binance in the UK.
yeah,
So and then now we saw the what was it, the Brazilian Binance Brazil.
yeah. So here in Brazil, the director from Binance, um, he was at the job for like 6 months since the beginning of the year. So he resigned. Um, the reasons they stated was kind of personal reasons, but also expectations from the company and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess it was just a kind of corporate stuff going on, and he resigned.
So
But
yeah,
yeah,
it might not have even been related, but
yeah,
I think that they definitely saw it coming, and they're trying to hold their ground as best as they can. And I think they're doing a good job. I mean, um,
yeah,
you're still able to trade on Binance if you live in the UK. You just have to send crypto, like a peer-to-peer transfer, and then you have to send crypto from another wallet to Binance to be able to trade. You cannot buy it directly off of Binance.
yeah.
So yeah,
So here's the tweet. Do I look more regulated already? He
yeah.
posted. But yeah, moving on, guys. We have some Cardano news as well to talk about. And Cardano, they announced that they successfully forked the Alonso testnet. So what's going on with Cardano right now? Basically, they in the Alonso phase here that they have, they're doing 3 phases for this to bring on the mainnet later in September. So this article here, it says that the Input Output Hong Kong, one of the companies behind the Cardano blockchain, today announced the successful upgrade of its Alonso testnet to the Alonso White network. And they continue here saying that each phase of this Alonso mainnet launch, named Blue, White, and Purple, will include more users, functionality, and features. And the mainnet deployment is expected by the end of September. So yeah, they have that going for them. They're making some progress here on this, but we gotta wait to see what the final thing will look like. Um, but yeah, Cardano. I think if you look at the charts there, it's holding pretty steadily. But what do you guys think about the this kind of news here?
Well, um, it's good. At least we're getting some news about Cardano. I mean, hopefully we hear more about projects being built on Cardano as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I guess you could say, FUD around the fact that, Cardano is still in development and there's still a lot of stuff that has not come to fruition. But, maybe with the launching of this hard fork and this 3 phase kind of launch, and then the main net going live, I believe, in September, this
Mhm.
should kind of help bring, more developers in, I would imagine.
I
So
mean,
that's
another
something.
thing to keep in mind, like we talked about how um, Cardano's not, there's not many projects that are using the Cardano blockchain to build on, but there is also to take into account, that coronavirus happened this past year, so a lot of people weren't working, and there was a lot of stuff going on with
Yeah,
Yeah.
within people's lives, and they couldn't get around to possibly doing the proper development that they needed to maintain the blockchain that the way that they needed to. Um,
Yeah, and
mhm,
this new upgrade is gonna allow, everything in terms of the smart contracts and whatnot. So it's gonna be real interesting to see how Cardano does and how well it may perform in the future after all of this starts getting implemented, because it's gonna
yeah,
take time. It's not something that we're gonna see right away, and especially when you think about them, buying, the hype and selling the news, we could expect to see some downside if people are going to be selling some of their staked coins once all of this starts launching.
yeah,
yeah. And let's take a look at the chart here, Freda, because as you mentioned, guys, we are seeing the hype for Cardano now because it's still a work in progress. So much work in progress, and once this is all done and it's all up and running, that's gonna be another thing for the price as well. But we'll we'll only know when it happens as well. But if you take a look here at the chart, we have this area that I drew. from a long time now. And this is the $1.48, $1.50 resistance, and we got rejected by it. And now we are seeing downside for ADA in the last couple weeks. Um, but we are still holding the 200 EMA here on the daily. Uh, we may see a new test of this, potentially forming even a double bottom situation here, like in these two tests here. It would
Yeah,
be a pretty clear double bottom situation for ADA.
and it would
Uh,
be a retest of the EMA as well. So that would be a bullish retest of two lines of
mhm.
confluence there.
Yeah, for sure. And if we draw a retracement here for ADA as well, we can sort of do it like this. So if I take from this swing low, open this to this swing high here on July 4th, you'll see that we are testing the golden pocket right now, kind of, which is the red line here you guys see on the chart.
Yeah.
Um, so I would expect us to bounce from the golden pocket here if I highlight it for you guys. Um, which is this one? No, it's the first one. Yep. So you guys see the golden pocket here at the $18, $17. This is gonna be a very interesting support line for ADA for the next couple days, or
Yeah.
even for today actually, if we get enough volume here. Um, but yeah, this is basically what's going on with ADA right now. What
Yeah,
do you
and
guys think?
on my chart as well, I've been tracking ADA for some time since the launch on Coinbase, and I kind of got swept up in the whole hype of it and getting in on the launch and kind of being part of that downside movement, which was not fun. But I did have these zones that I had drawn out. This green one I actually had it a little more over here, but these are going to be some of these liquidity zones that we're going to have to get by. And I would say at the worst case scenario, we would want to hold the $1.07. I know there's a lot of people saying that they're looking to buy ADA at $1 and that it's going to possibly go a little lower. But given that we have respected this zone and we've had these large wicks to the downside each time we've touched this zone, I have confidence that we might not see under $1 for a while. But like nothing's guaranteed. This is kind of just based off of these previous candles and how they reacted every time we get to the zone. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what's going to happen once these hard fork and in this three-phase launch, what it's going to do to the
Yeah,
price afterwards.
yeah. I guess if we start to see a lot of projects and the thing really really working and making some changes, so I think it's gonna be very nice for the price in the future for ADA, because at the state we are at now, to be in such a large market cap situation for Cardano, and even bigger at the earlier in the year. um it's very very impressive, but it's part of all the hype that's going on with ADA.
Yeah.
uh yeah, but yeah, I would really like to see what happens once we get everything that's planned for Cardano. But coming back a little bit to BTC here, guys, just to kind of wrap it up here for you guys, and recap a little bit of what we talked about today. Um, we have this pattern here for BTC, the falling wedge, this chart here. Right now, we are kind of testing that same line once again. So we're gonna have to wait and see what's the target for this would be. Obviously, if we break to the upside, guys, usually the target would be at the top of the wedge, which would be kind of 36,600, but it could be even higher if we get enough volume.
Yeah.
And if we break to the downside, guys, which would be that 30% chance, not exactly, but a
32.
lower
Well,
chance.
yeah, semantic.
Yeah, we would kind of have to see if this 30K level is gonna hold,
Yeah.
um, and even the 28K level, to see if we're gonna hold that or not. After that, we're gonna have to reassess everything, because if we lose those levels, then things are gonna get pretty ugly, I think.
Yeah. But for the short
Uh,
term, just to touch back on my chart one last time,
yeah,
we have here what we were talking about before. We had this bullish divergence on the RSI that formed for Bitcoin. We had an immediate reaction on this candle. And, we got rejected on this 382 fib level for the local retracement. But one thing to point out is that although right now this candle is showing bearish and we are kind of retracing and undoing this previous candle, the RSI is holding and actually showing increasing strength at the moment, as well as the money flow index, the MFI in green here as well. So, that along with the wave trend on the histogram on the MACD, which also was printing bullish divergences, there is a chance that if we do come a little lower here, we're still going to be printing a new bullish divergence on this candle, and we should expect to see another reaction and a possible bounce again. So I'm going to expect a lot of choppiness around this area. It's going to be kind of like a battle, tug of war between the bulls and the bears to find support here. But once we do solidify support here, I do feel like there is going to be that upside potential, especially given that the RSI and the daily does have room to move to the upside. But again, nothing is guaranteed. And so keep your toes, you know, crisp there and your eyes peeled.
Hmm.
yeah, for sure, guys. But yeah, I guess that's all that we had for today, guys. This is a critical moment for the crypto market for sure.
Yeah.
We want to see some volume coming in, especially on BTC, to see if we're going to recover or if we are totally bearish for the next few days, for the next few weeks. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Whoever saw watched the live, and for you guys that are gonna watch this on YouTube as well. If you wanna see any more content, guys, you can access yarcrypto.com. We also have our news website, which is yarcryptonews.com. And also, guys, we have our Discord community where we talk all about crypto related stuff. We do live TA every day, and if you want to just talk, learn about crypto, you can join us on the Discord. Feel free to do so. But yeah, guys, thank you again so much for watching. And yeah, that's all for today. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Take care, people.